Coffee in here, please.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh, you like this look? I don't like this look. Let's do this instead. What the heck was that look about? Nah, maybe we'll come back to that look. I don't know. I don't know nothing. I don't want to put my coffee down. You see this? You know, all right, shut the band just keeps going. They just keep going. Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday, February 14th, 2024. Valentine's Day. Yes, Valentine's Day. A made-up holiday invented by flower companies and chocolate companies and sex toy companies and lingerie companies and greeting card companies. They all got together. It was a grand conspiracy. I don't like Valentine's Day. I never have. I'm not a romantic in that way. I'm a romantic in some way. I write nice love songs. I do. But besides that, I think I don't like people who play it up like it's such a special day. Mostly women. Am I being a misogynist? Am I being whatever I am? A masculinist. That's what I am. I'm not a feminist. I'm a masculinist. When it comes to phony holidays, I don't like any of the phony holidays. But this is Jackie Martling's birthday. It's Chuck Norris's birthday. Happy birthday to those two guys and everybody else in the planet. Every day on Facebook you get today's birthdays. It's filled up today. I can't believe how many people are born on this day. You would think they would get conceived on this day, but not born on this day. But there it is. And February is not a big day for birthdays, but the 14th obviously is. So there's that. Congratulations to Tom Suozzi, who won the congressional seat in New York District 3 last night. I'm officially dropping out of the race in November. And endorsing Tom Suozzi to keep going, and I'm very confident that he will win again in November. Listen, there's no chance. When Santos was there, I was kidding myself that there was a chance that I might get elected. But pipe dreams are pipe dreams, and that pipe dream is all out of stuff, and it needs to be reloaded. Anyway, wish Tom Suozzi good luck in the district. Good luck, and maybe there'll be an opening in another district here on Long Island. Actually, the one I live in, District 1, possibly. I don't know, but as of now, I am officially out of the race for Congress. I know you're disappointed. So there's that. And what else did we I wanted to talk about Barry Katz's thing, because I did watch the replay on Barry Katz, and I have a lot of respect for Barry Katz. If you don't know, just a little information for people who don't know what the Barry Katz thing is. Barry Katz is a very established and well-known producer, manager in comedy and film and television, and has a track record of success with a lot of different things in a lot of different people. He has a blueprint for success in comedy and entertainment community that he runs. And a lot of the people who have been on this show are part of that. Whether they got there through this show or on their own, man, a lot of people, including the very first guest on this show, who was, I'm not going to talk about her again. I talked about her yesterday. I actually used a very ugly word. I said I hated her and she hates me. That's true. But I'm just not going to dwell on that. Anyway, a lot of people are involved in this course. Barry, I have, again, a lot of respect for him. Yesterday, in reviewing this thing with Robert Taylor's thing, Robert Taylor, who was a weekly contributor to this program until GD and Willie came on and scared him away. He was in the spotlight, and Barry can turn up the heat a little bit. He's very direct. Well, not very direct in this case. This is very weird. He's very direct and can be very tough on people in a place that I think criticism should come one-on-one rather than in front of the crowd. Like, well, let's not take your pants down in front of the crowd and see your ass and get the paddle out, and let's see how red we can make it as the class watches. And he has you know what, in some ways that's necessary. But for me, I would prefer, if I were doing it, to take somebody to the side and tell them stuff. Anyway, Robert was asking about how to approach the best way to write an email or make a contact with a booker. And in today's world, definitely is email. Email is the preferred way of making contact with somebody, whether it's a guest to be on the show, whether it's a booker, whether it's a proposal to do a show, to host a show, to produce a show, any of that kind of stuff. Email is the way. But Barry was trying to make Robert guess or dig into his soul to try to figure out the best way to write an email. He asked a question about it and didn't get an answer. Instead, he got more questions back, which is not really being direct. It isn't. And he was asking him, like, and this is the most important part of the mind game he was playing with him, is imagine that you are the booker and you have unlimited money and you have all these comedy clubs and you don't really need anybody. They need you. And that part got overlooked. And it's like, how would you write? How would you get your attention if this was so? But Robert wasn't taking that part of it in. He was thinking about what would get your attention? And that was the question. What would get your attention? Well, not your attention if you were this, show business mogul. Get into that mindset. And that's really hard to do if you're not a show business mogul. If you've never been in that position, you can't really think like those people. So the most important part of that is understanding, getting into their shoes. The first rule of marketing is you are not the customer. And that's the big thing that was missed in this thing. So he was making Robert, and Robert was stumbling, trying to figure out, like, where the fuck do you want me to go with this, brother? And it wasn't going anywhere. And watching it felt hard. And basically, it starts with the subject line. With an email, you get people to open your email, you have to have a subject line. It's like anything in creative writing. The first step is to get their attention. To get them to open the email is the hardest thing in marketing. If you're sending out emails to people, subject line is the most important thing. Then the very first line has to grab their attention about what you can do for them. I mean, there is a simple pattern there, and it's not rocket science. It's marketing. And you can look that stuff up. But it was a long segment that didn't need to be. And I could tell there was a lot of frustration in the room. Me watching the thing felt frustrated trying to get to the answers. He did address G.D. Fenderson, who was going to be in with us in a moment, in a similar way. It felt like a little bit like he enjoys the process of watching people struggle to come to their own answers. And that's a good thing. And again, I respect Barry, and I'm not saying that I know better than him. Believe me, I'm not saying that at all. I just think there might be a more productive way to help people. And I definitely encourage people to continue. And listen, everybody who is in the Blueprint for Success course, I think it's a great thing to be part of. I congratulate everybody for understanding the need for growth and to have a mentor like that. Just questioning some of the, and maybe somebody might be able to kind of have that conversation with them about how to really, because if you only get an hour with him, you don't want him spending 20 minutes on trying to dig out how to write an email out of somebody and get them to come up with their own answers. Anyway, that's my little spiel on that. Bring in GD right now and Willie, the Lord from A Lord and His Lady, who was on last night. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you feeling empty like my cup because you forgot to buy a Valentine's Day gift? Well, go to Mind Dog TV and order your Lovebird house.
I would just
order today and get it by Valentine's Day 2025.
Is that for lovebirds? Is the Lovebird house actually for lovebirds? Or could any bird use it? Like a parakeet? Could a parakeet use that?
I think wrens.
If they love the house, if they love the house, yes. And look, it comes in many sizes. Here's small, here's large.
I like how it comes with the white picket fence.
Did you make that yourself, or did your wife make that? Please tell me your wife made that. You didn't.
Okay, I'll tell you. My wife made it.
Oh, he's lying. Oh, he did make it.
Lying son of a bitch.
No, that's the. I didn't lie. He asked me to tell him that, and I told him that. He said, "Please tell me that your wife made it." He asked, so I said, "My wife made it." I don't understand where I'm the liar when I'm just doing what he asked me to do. If he said to me, "Show me," that's not the point.
Oh, I think it is.
No, the point was he asked, and I fulfilled that request, and then you called me a liar.
If my wife asked me, please tell me you didn't sleep with that girl, and I tell her, of course I didn't, baby. That's gonna be a lie usually. You know what I mean? Like
you. Usually. Now you have another question to answer. When aren't you lying about sleeping with that girl?
All right, GD, is there any way that you could use your the Sunday kind of setup for this? Because every day you come on with the crackles, or either that or get a new wire or a new phone jack or something, because you got crackles. I'm being told in the chat room that I have an echo. Do you guys hear an echo on me? Echo, 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 echo.
I hear a lot of reverb.
That's probably what.
What?
That sounded pretty normal. Maybe
pretty normal, except for the nasaliness. Now the nasaliness is because I'm sick again, but that's gonna pass. Hopefully, it's gonna pass or I'll die. Either way, it's gonna pass.
Did you do your COVID test?
I did. I don't have COVID.
Okay, great.
I just have a cold again. So I have no immunity to anything. I'm a bug magnet.
Man.
Yeah. But the crackly thing, it's like an everyday thing now. But it doesn't happen with your computer when you use
okay, I'll do the computer. I'll try the computer thing. To be honest, I've tried 4 different sets.
It's not crackling now. It's working now. That's so weird. As soon as I bring it up, it'll stop for a minute. Anyway, for now,
it's conscious crackle.
Right.
It's weird because it's 4 different devices, and it was even doing it with my wired headset.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
It's the jack on the phone, the in jack on the phone.
Yeah, but the other ones go Bluetooth. I have 4 Bluetooth devices.
Oh, that's interesting.
That I've tried. Yeah, all 4 Bluetooth devices are crackling, and I have the Bluetooth device color coded, so I know which ones I'm using.
Is it possibly the crackling is coming from your throat?
Do you hear? Do you hear the crackling now? Because I'm using my throat now.
No, I don't hear it. I don't hear it.
Because initially we thought because I was
Never
moving.
mind. That's too far.
We thought it was because you were moving, because you were being very Italian and talking with your hands and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a good show for you today. Two comedians, James Mack from New York City. I almost wanted to play Jimmy Mack. You know the song Jimmy? No, you don't. You're not old enough to know the song Jimmy Mack.
I know Jimmy Mack.
You don't know
but,
it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know it.
You don't know it. I wanted to play that, but copyright issues would get me off. Yeah, I don't want to lose the channel.
Of it.
But what you could do, what you could do is put the lyrics and the music in the chat room, and we all perform it together. And that way, you're not using his.
We wouldn't be in sync. We'd be all out of sync. Like we would
never be in sync. We would never be in sync. We're not a boy band. That's stupid. We could be like.
We're a man band. A man band.
Yeah, we're a man band.
Oh my God, that's a great idea.
Yeah, all men doing men to boys.
Yeah, men to boys. Yeah, that sounds. We could.
And stink because they're all wearing dirty Depends diapers.
Oh my God, dude, that's fabulous. Dude, see,
no, it's not. Don't break that down.
No. If you've ever been on stage with somebody with body odor, you can't get away.
Geriatric dudes that keep shitting themselves while they sing.
Right. And our second guest.
Am I crackling still now?
No, you're not crackling. You're doing good. Let's knock on wood.
I'm afraid to knock on wood. I might crackle.
Right. If you don't knock on wood, we'll knock on wood for you.
Okay.
I'm knocking on my wood. You guys got anything to say about me dropping out of the congressional race? Are you crying? Are you sad? Are you?
Well, I think Kelly wants to know if that means you're going full steam ahead on the presidential race.
Full steam ahead? Oh, you're gonna kill an old man? No. No, I'm not running for president. Not ever. I'm not. I did that as
now you got a better chance than ever. I mean, there's shit candidates out there.
There's three candidates out there, and listen, I didn't give Kennedy any chance in the world, and he probably still is a very long shot. But he you know what? More people are jumping on his bandwagon every fucking day. So there are three candidates out there, and the question is how much will people really just be tired of Biden and Trump enough to just get I don't even want to get into that whole shit, but the idea of just wanting somebody young, and now Kennedy's not a young fucking stud. He's in shape, but he's all old and he's a heroin addict, and he pulls his dick out in front of people, and he's got a load of baggage on his own. So
I think once people get to actually hear him talk and policies and stuff like that, a lot of the stuff will drop off. Right now, it's just like a little vanity.
Maybe a crackling is related to me doing it. I do this, and it gets to you, and then you crackle.
Did I just crackle?
No. Well, you did just a little bit there after I did this. That's what made me think of that. Anyway, yeah, so there are three candidates. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen with any of that shit? But I am not running for president. I did it as a goof in 2016 and 2020, but I didn't expect. It wasn't serious. The congressional run was a serious run when George Santos had the seat. But Swazi. People don't know this, but Swazi was the rep before Santos. He retired, and that's what gave Santos the opening. And he actually beat Santos when he ran against him his last term, and then he retired, and then Santos got in after that. So
yeah, did he retire? I thought did he retire because he challenged? He ran for governor. Was that it?
No. Oh yeah, he had planned on running for governor. He did a primary. An attempt at running at governor, but there was no interest because he's in the Democratic Party, and so is Cuomo, and Cuomo was the incumbent. Running against an incumbent in your own party is always going to be a tough.
Those two things are not related. Then they both happen, but they're not related.
I don't know if they're related. Uh,
Kelly says she's writing you in anyway. I probably will too, because I'll probably write you in.
you can't write me in. Neither one of you can vote for me. Oh, as president?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, because in the congressional district, you have to live in the district. All right, you want to write me in it? You know what? I did get one vote in 2016. It was my own. I wrote myself in. Yeah.
Report that? Is it like in the paper and shit? That'll be fucking great.
I think they did, but I don't think they wrote me. I mean, they just had Hillary and Trump's numbers up there. They didn't put any of the other people. No, they had to put the Green Party people in, and I don't know. That'd be good if I could find.
Maybe we should make our own political party.
It's been done. I'm at the Bull Moose Party, or the Green Party, or the Libertarian Party. All those parties are all.
We can call it the Coffee Party.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work. I tried that back when I was trying to run for Congress, and I tried it back when I tried to run for president in 1998.
Thing is, I know Tom Swazi a little bit, and from when he was what the hell, county executive in Nassau County, and I can actually have a conversation with him. Now, I doubt he's going to buy into any of the things that I was talking about getting dirty money out and highlighting the dirty money issue. But I can at least have that conversation with him, and that I feel good about that, and trying to be able to, I don't know, some way have that open door to say, you know what, the biggest problem in all of the politics is it's not about the people. It's all about the fucking dirty money who was behind all your people in there. So, anyway, we got to get moving along here. In the second hour, Stephen the sitcom Ortiz, will be with us. In the first hour, James Mack, who is a New York City comedian. We're going to meet him in just a moment, but first we have to play a little advertisement. Now, I want to tell you, I'm going to play True Fire commercial here. True Fire has a special BOGO deal. You know what BOGO is, right? You guys know.
Buy one, get one.
Buy one, get one. Buy one, get one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know? You thought it was booger? BOGO. Buy one, get one. You buy 1 year, you get the second year free. So you can get 2 years of musical education for the price of 1 year. 1,000 courses and jams of BOGO information, and gift certificates. Give the gift of music. There's all that and more running in February specials on True Fire.
Over 2 million guitar players worldwide learn, practice, and play with TrueFire. Our learning tools and massive library of video lessons will ignite your technical skills, harmonic knowledge, rhythm playing, and soloing chops. TrueFire's educators are the best in the biz, from Grammy Award winners to world-renowned artists. You'll have access to an unparalleled faculty of over 300 top-notch blues, rock, jazz, country, fingerstyle, and acoustic guitar educators. Using our desktop and mobile apps, you'll work with TrueFire's multi-angle video lessons on any device, anytime, anywhere. Integrated learning tools such as video synced tab and notation, slow-mo, looping, practice jam tracks, and many more handy controls accelerate your learning experience. TrueFire style-specific learning paths guide you every step of the way. Use our assessment tools to find your starting point, then follow our lesson recommendations and track your progress as you work through your personalized TrueFire study plan. Progress faster with private one-on-one instruction, group lessons, multi-track video jams, live streams, song lessons, student forums, TrueFire's Riff magazine, premium jam tracks, and much, much more. With thousands of 5-star ratings and reviews from amateur and pro players alike, you'll find yourself in good company with the world's most comprehensive guitar learning platform. Grab your guitar and ignite your musicality. Sign up free for an all-access trial today.
Yeah, invite musicality and get your BOGO deal. All right, let's tell the band to get loud. Damn bands are just like taking advantage of the situation here. We're going to fire the band. They get loud, and they're driving my customers out the door. Anyway, it's time to meet our first guest. James Mack is a New York City comic and an Army veteran. I don't know. He's probably not an officer. Maybe he was. Who brings experience experiences and PTSD to the stage with satire that has your belly hurting and your brain activated. Not this brain. Nobody can activate this brain. It's been proven, scientifically proven. James has been featured at the New York City Comedy Festival in 22 Top Comics, Funniest Comic in New Jersey, Featured Comic, Comic Strip Live, Stand Up New York, and New York City Headliner Series. He's here now, ladies and gentlemen. Please let's welcome in James Mack. Where is he? Why is he not coming in here? Oh, here he is. Wait, you get up there.
Yeah.
Good morning, James. How are you?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Very good. Now that doesn't sound like a New York City accent to me. Where are you from, bud?
Nope, I just work in New York City. I grew up all over the South: Georgia, North Carolina, Texas.
And did you come to New York after the service?
Oh yeah. I retired in 2010. So
okay, retired. So did you put in 20 years?
I put in 15. They offered a 15-year retirement at the time, and I was like, all right, bye.
Oh, good for you. So that
don't
you know
have
what?
to tell me twice.
Yes. So
Wait,
that you know what?
Money, less time. Yeah, sure.
It's pursuing your dream in comedy is definitely a lot easier when you got some income coming in as a retired vet, right? It's a lot easier to start coming out with nothing in your pocket and trying to make it in comedy.
Definitely, you get friendlier rats when you can afford a better place. So
yeah. Talk to me. How you make things like PTSD funny? Because you know what, last night I was prepared to write down some suicide jokes. Listening to Willie talk last night, but he didn't really talk about suicide. We didn't get there yet because
we didn't really get
there. But making tough things funny, the tough subjects funny, it's a challenge. How do you go about making that funny?
The biggest thing is just a lot of people have misconceptions. They think PTSD is all the same thing, and it's not. PTSD is like an umbrella term, and the way to make it funny is you just got to find the funny in it. Like, what's the old saying? It's like something plus time equals comedy.
Oh, yeah. Tragedy.
Tragedy.
Mark Twain said that.
Well, you can say something plus time equals comedy always.
Yeah.
My ninth grade teacher said it also. That's where I learned it from.
So
a lot of people don't understand it. So
I don't. Because you know what, I equated. They changed the name so many times. But forget what. Battle fatigue, shell shock, all that kind of stuff. But I always think of it as one, basically one thing. Because basically 4th of July and bombs going off, we would definitely trigger my stepson who did some time in Iraq and all that kind of stuff. And I always think of it as shell shock, like that kind of some of the guys from Nam I knew who could not go to sleep with lights out. They had to leave the lights on all night because they'll spend so much time in the jungle in the total darkness and always wondering if the enemy was right by because you're listening all night. So all that kind of stuff. How is it? What are the different manifestations of it? I mean, I'm really an eager student here right now. I think of it all as one thing. How is it different?
Yeah. So talking about like the different labels, I think George Carlin covered that the best anybody's going to be able to do. It's like they kept changing the title of it,
right?
And to eventually be like, okay, now it's not as serious, because the other thing they did was if it's shell shock, that's only for veterans.
Right.
If it's combat fatigue, that's only for veterans. And now you have PTSD, which anybody can have.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So now it's something that, hey, the veterans aren't as special, is kind of one of the things that I kind of joke about. It's like now they've tried to make us like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I'm like, you've taken our beards. Can we at least have our mental disease? Come on, man.
There you go.
depression, like you're talking about, like high anxiety, being like checking all your corners, having your back to the wall, stuff like that. I also I make jokes about like the anxiety, the being hyper alert, like if I'm driving somewhere, because I do have a vehicle, I have to go on the road, see somebody behind me for a while, I'm like, oh my God, are they following me? No, I'm on an interstate. What am I doing?
You know what? I get that too. I don't know if that's necessarily related to trauma. It might be in my case. I don't know. I never really analyzed it, but I'm always thinking somebody's following me. If they're behind me for too long, like I'm gonna try to play with them and see if they'll take this left. With they took that left. Now I'm convinced they're following me.
Matt, do you do that with your cat when you're walking around the house and the cat starts following you?
The cats never follow me. The cats run from me. The cats run. You know what? My wife blames everything on me. We have a cat that has PTSD, but she does, because she got beat up by her sister really bad. She hid under the bed for like a month and wouldn't come out. But now every time I move, like if I get out of this chair, she'll run. She's in another room, but she'll hear me get out of the chair and run away. And my wife thinks that,
I understand that. I understand that. I got beat up by my big sister and my big brother for years, and I was pretty much the same way.
Maybe they did the crackling for you.
Really?
No, you just got to touch, a little. It's not bad. Just a touch, but it's gone now. I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. I'm trying to give you a little PTSD.
Well, I'm trying to troubleshoot shit. So when you fuck with me, I'm going like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you're getting a little now.
Okay.
You know what?
I do have a. Yeah. What?
I'm thinking of
James.
How I could do Robert F. Kennedy and Katharine Hepburn all in one. Is there something in there like Henry?
You could probably do both in one with roofies.
James, do you have a service animal?
I do not. So
okay, then that kills my next 4 questions.
That's
all right,
good.
Someone else asked while I regroup. Someone else asked a question while I regroup.
Yeah, no. Let's get back to comedy now. New York City has a lot of opportunity for comics. Are you working? Are you like, visiting open mics every night of the week, or and doing that? Are you hustling, or are you just looking for bookings instead of actually just going out and finding stage time every night?
No, I'm actually kind of at the point where I don't do open mics hardly at all anymore. I'm mostly getting up on stage every night, and that's how I get to work out my new stuff. So
interesting, because even maybe it's not open mics, but even the most established pros are just finding stage time in clubs, and I don't see much difference. Well, there is a big difference, I guess. In open mics are generally you're playing for comics they're never really going to make anything of themselves anyway. Most of the people in the room are just there as hobbyists or pipe dreamers and all, and not taking it seriously and out because they don't like their girlfriend or don't like their wife, like GD. I'm sorry.
But I brought her up, but I got her a birdhouse.
You got her. I thought she made you the birdhouse. You liar.
No, you asked me to tell you that, so I told you that. How many times do I have to go over this? It's like the difference
where did you buy the birdhouse?
Yeah.
Where did you buy the birdhouse, man? Just tell us the truth.
Oh, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it.
He made it and painted it pink himself.
I didn't say I made it. They are handmade. They are handmade, and they were given to me because you get somebody who just has like a hobby.
You have
and
a child locked in your basement that's making you little birdhouses. Is that what's happening?
See, the built-in lie detector. Every time he starts lying, he goes like this. I'm Robert F. Kennedy.
And technically, they're not locked in the basement.
Okay,
it's an NYU freshman. It's
right.
Fine. So.
An intern. We call them interns.
Oh, okay.
So all these places in New York now. Are you familiar with? I'm a little concerned that this might spread. What's going on with the Stand? The workers at the Stand, the comedy club, the Stand in New York, are striking.
No. Not right? The Stand. Stand Up New York.
Oh, Stand Up New York. I thought it was the Stand. Okay, but not the comedians, the workers in the club, right?
Correct.
But just one club. That's very weird. I mean, you can't really settle a movement when just one club goes on strike, can you? I don't know.
Well, you can
What
for
are
that
they
one
striking
club
about?
because they're. I mean, there's a lot that goes on at that club. I mean, they have shows every night, so and you need your staff. One of the first things that I learned in comedy is the staff's the most important people to get to know and be friends with,
Yeah.
because
So,
they can tell the booker like, hey, we want this person. They're cool. We like them. So.
Yeah.
so are you showing solidarity with them and not performing there while they're doing this?
Yeah. I think, hey, you got to pay your people for their work. Same thing I look at for comedy. Like a lot of comics start out working for free, and you need to get paid for what you do. So
I agree. But there is
Yeah.
this point where there is an oversaturation of people who call themselves comedians who don't
yeah,
deserve to be paid at all, and they think they deserve to be paid big money. Like there was a whole thing about a month and a half ago where this guy was thinking he put out this post that his friends tell him he's one of the top 5 comedians in the world, and of course he'd never performed at all, and he was insisting on getting paid if he's going to do. He wouldn't even do an open mic.
oh, I saw that post. Yeah, that dude. There's a couple of trolls like that all the time that go into comedy things, and they'll be like, "Oh, like I want to get paid like Chappelle, and I should get like Madison Square Garden my first show." Like, yeah, why don't you ask Ti how that works out for you, bud?
Yeah, it's a difficult thing now. In getting started there, the very first paycheck is a rewarding thing. I took a lot of inspiration from Bob Ross, the Happy Bush painter, the
Oh
happy,
yeah,
happy. Um, and he used to say, "Get paid for your work, even if sell your paintings. Don't give them away. Get paid for your work because not because you care mostly about the money, but the money is a significant. It sends a message to your brain that people are willing to put down their hard-earned money for the craft that you create, and that will inspire you to create more and get and motivate you and energize you and all that kind of stuff." So I don't know why, but that resonates with me. I always think about that when I hear about people giving their stuff away. It's like, yeah, you know what, you just all you're doing is defeating your own uh drive and your own inspiration when you're doing that. So I totally agree with that.
yeah, definitely.
Uh, New York Comedy Club.
Yeah,
Do you perform there? New York Comedy Club.
quite a few times. Yeah.
I'm mad at them. About are you familiar with the Mark Norman incident from a couple of weeks ago, where they had that fake, I don't know, terrorist attack? What was it? I don't know. It was he was on stage for 45 minutes. Some people came up and stood on stage. Oh, what is this? And like, they evacuated the place, but the club was in on it. And I think that that's such rank crap from a comedy club. I don't want to see that stuff. And they got off, I think, with a slap on the wrist by saying, "We're sorry if anybody." But it was a publicity stunt. I think a club should be above that. Now, I'm not trying to get you to say anything about bad about one of the clubs that you work for or
Thank you.
potentially work for, but. Do you have any thoughts on like a club's responsibility to do, not be a dick? Oh.
um, Candy, Emilio, I love y'all. Please still book me. No,
Yeah, that's me saying that, not James, by the way.
no. There like even with comics, and obviously I'm not gonna say any names in this, but there was a lot of talk behind the scenes whether Mark knew about it or not, and that it that makes my big thing is that makes comedy look bad.
Yeah.
Because the other people in the room, like I understand, you could do pranks, you can do all the videos and stuff, but it needs to be something that the people are willing to go with. So, and I think if, as you saw the reaction of the people that were there and even their reactions afterwards, like it obviously wasn't funny, which is the ultimate thing you want out of anything in comedy. And two, like there were people that were there that are now trying to tell people never to go to New York Comedy Club again.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well,
I'm
they
not
did it
big
in a
on.
way that made them concerned for their own safety, because like
Yeah.
when you just rush the act out of there like that without saying anything about what's going on or whatever, especially in a place like New York where you've obviously had terrorist attacks and stuff like that, you don't fucking know what's going to happen.
That's
And
true.
people don't understand what a powerful thing fear is.
Yeah.
Well, and
It changes elections.
that's the thing is that and a lot of people didn't know this, is the same time his show was going on, there was an incident in Midtown on, I want to say it was like 87th, where like the manhole cover like blew up off of the thing. And so there were people that thought that those were maybe connected, that
Oh
maybe
my
something
God.
was happening out there. So you also had people from outside the club that were like, hey man, like did something happen, with the gas line, or because of the way that they rushed him out, and then they had to tell the whole audience like, hey, you got to go. So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Two things on there. I am not for canceling anybody or telling people not to go to New York Comedy Club. But I am definitely a pro prank person. I love pranks.
Yeah.
But to your point, it really needs to be funny. And at the end, people need to be able, like with a joke, you don't set it up and create tension and just walk away. You give them a punchline to end the joke so that they know, and then you release the tension. Even with a prank like that, you can't just leave them hanging forever. And I think it was handled poorly. And I would have loved to see just a New York Comedy Club say, instead of, because all they did was say, we're sorry if we inconvenienced everybody. I would have loved to see them. We fucked up. That was a dumb thing to do. We'll never do that again. That's all I want from them.
yeah, unfortunately, if they say that, hey, I apologize or whatever, then that shows a liability on their part, and somebody could sue them.
Lawsuits. Yeah.
Yep. You always got to look out for that. So I'm absolutely certain that there was an attorney and a PR person that told them, hey, this is what you need to say.
Right, absolutely. They got Norman to sign an NDA.
That's why I say attorneys have ruined the world. Attorneys have ruined the world.
Until you need one. Until you need one.
I'd say, yeah, they're a necessary evil. They are a necessary evil.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So New York is that now. A lot of when you played in New York, you're not necessarily performing for New Yorkers. A lot of people, a lot of tourists, and all that kind of stuff. Always. So would you say weeknights are more like touristy? The rooms are probably more 70% tourists on like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
It depends on where you're playing at. So if you go into, obviously if you go into Brooklyn, nobody's from New York. But if you're in Manhattan, actually the weekdays is usually when the actual locals come out. So the weekends you're getting more people from out of town, at least from what I've experienced. Yeah, because it's a weekend, they can get away from what they're doing. So during the weekdays though, you get a lot more foreigners though. So like you'll get people, from Europe, Asia, South America.
So to them, you sound like a New Yorker because they can't tell the difference. It's all, That's interesting. Brooklyn and Queens.
Have you ever done a show?
Go ahead, Willie.
Have you ever done a show with a bridal party?
Yes.
Yeah. How did that go?
I hate them.
Yeah. Most comics do. Most comics hate.
Musicians are the opposite. We love them. I love bridal.
Are you talking about a bridal party or a bachelor party or bachelorette party?
Mainly a bachelorette party because like I did a show one time where we had a bachelorette party come in and and it was like the full nine, the suck for a buck shirt, the necklace of tiny penises, the straws they used in their drinks were tiny penises.
Oh, you get me excited.
Like dildos between each other across two tables. Like that's some hard stuff to deal with as a comic.
May I say something about that? Because I've had a few of those in the audience, and I've watched other comedians deal with it. This is how I've dealt with it. Okay, I get the bride to be, and I get her on stage, and I let her read one of my jokes or a joke to the audience. a joke that I'm not going to do. And I'll let her just read it out. She gets her attention. She has a moment on stage. Everybody sees her. And then she's got that moment that she doesn't have to yell out, and they don't have to be so, hey, look at me, I'm special. Right. She's got the moment.
That's not a bad tactic. That's not
I know.
A bad tactic.
That's why I brought it up. Good God, I do know a little bit about Good damn. Oh, jeez.
What about you?
No, I'm just teasing. No, so
I love that stuff. You know what?
I preempt it.
I welcome any group of fanatic females coming in. They can ruin my show anytime they want, as long as they make it funny for me and entertaining for me. And if I and I'll stop and laugh at them and enjoy all that stuff, especially if they're over the top, flirtatious, or drunk and really being horny and stuff. I love that stuff. I mean, I guess I'm still an old dirty horn dog in a lot of ways.
I was gonna say I do something similar to what GD does. Like if I notice something like that, or like birthday girl or something, I have a lot of crowd work mixed in with my jokes on purpose. And guess who gets to be the object of all the crowd work?
Yeah. Wait, let me guess. The usher.
The groom.
Yeah.
No, you.
Waiter? The waiter?
Yeah.
I'm still guessing, Matt. Let me. No.
But yeah, because that's what they want. They want their attention, and why not? If you have some stuff already, a bullet in the gun, go ahead and use it for that.
Right.
So
I'm sure
get
that's
their
one
attention.
When I work with young comedians, when I work with young comedians, I'm trying to get them to help deal with hecklers and things of that nature. One of the things I tell them is one of the things I learned from another famous comedian is that you don't give up control. Okay?
Yeah, right.
So, and that's and that's where some young comedians really screw up with their crowd work. They do that in such a way that they've given up control and they can't get it back. You only do what you can control. You can't.
Well, that's what I always say. Doing too much crowd work invites it sends the wrong message to the audience.
Yes.
It invites heckling because people think you ask them to be part of the show. If you do too much crowd work, just because a comedian talks to one person doesn't mean he wants to hear from everybody in the room.
Right.
And I saw that at a Tell show at Governor's where he started doing a little bit of that, and then one guy got up first he was doing this, had his hand up like he was in school. And then he got up and he walked around the entire place and walked to dead center and just stood in front of the stage and was waiting for a Tell to pick him out. I was like, somebody needs to talk to this guy. He's never been to a comedy club before. He doesn't know etiquette or any of that kind of stuff. But
Dave needs to start paying attention to his kids so they don't have to do that at his show.
Dave just ignored him. Dave made like he didn't exist. He was looking right through him.
Yeah, that's one of his kids. He does that to his children. He ignores them.
Festivals. What's your take on festivals? Because I'm seeing more and more of these festivals pop up. People are creating festivals now everywhere, and there's always like an entrance fee. And sometimes those entrance fees, I think, are just really there to kind of pay for the entire event. So it's not like they ask people to submit stuff. You got $100 entry fee. They're not even going to listen to your tape. All they know is they've got their people lined up in their mind. There, the people they want on the show, and they want all this money coming in from entrance fees to pay for those people they want on the show. Do you agree with that sentiment at all, or am I being conspiratorial minded? What's your take on it?
No, and I think it depends on which festival you're talking about. So,
well, the new ones that are popping up is more than
definitely. I mean, that's why one of the things, so this is what I was told when I first came up here, because I'd never dealt with festivals before I came up here, and I was in Dallas and Tucson, Arizona, doing comedy before New York, and I was told I had a really good comic. Matter of fact, I'll give him a shout out, Jonas Barnes, who is very vocal about, hey, the most a festival should cost is $10 for me to send you the link to my tape. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you got to be able to, do something for it. That's fine. $10, most people can afford that. But go look at the website that they're giving you. Go look at who they've booked before. Do they have sponsors? if you see sponsors up there, cool. Also look at what else you're going to get from that festival. Do they have actual people coming in? Like one of my favorite festivals that I do every year is North Carolina Comedy Festival. It's usually $15 to submit. But here's the thing is it's almost all features and headliners that are on the festival, and they have legit industry come in. Like last year was the booker for Bristol Comedy Club. The year before that, it was Mike Drop Comedy Club in San Diego, and also the one of the bookers for Big Pine came in to like give you advice, like, hey, this is what we want to see in your video. This is what we're looking for on your socials. Here's some stuff to get rid of off your socials.
Yeah.
That's actually what I'm most interested when I'm looking for festivals. I'm most interested in what kind of industry people are they having at the festival? What kind of seminars am I going to be able to go to? Yeah. Because like when I went to Snow Jam, they had a producer from America's Got Talent that did a seminar on doing their shows and stuff like that. Knowing that kind of stuff, super important stuff to know. So industry in those festivals, very important.
Yeah. I also look at who are the other comics on there. Is that somebody that I want to net? Like I don't. Okay, let me phrase that. Is that somebody that I could network with? Is it? Right. Like you were talking about, like with brand new festivals, a lot of times it's brand new comics. Like, yeah, you still want to know who they are for 3 years down the road. But is it somebody that I could talk to right now? And they're like, oh, yeah, like I perform at Zany's all the time. And hey, dude, I loved your stuff. Like, yeah, put me down as your recommendation. Stuff like that. And I do the same thing. Like, I'm in New York City, but I also do a lot of road work. And if a comic's really good up there, I have no problem saying, hey, here's the booker for such and such. Since I saw you're going to be up that way, tell them I recommended you for a guest spot. So
very cool.
I do the same thing with other comics. I give them information, but I don't tell them to use my name. Yeah. I say, here's the information. Nobody likes don't tell them you know me. They
will fuck things up. No, I'd never tell anybody I know you. I would never, in any situation. Even when the cops came here yesterday and they were asking, I said, I never heard that name before.
I think we all have locations like that where it's like, hey, this is who you reach out to. Don't tell them you got it from me because you won't get booked.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's lots of that.
And I have to tell them I'm serious. I said, no, this is not a joke. I'm serious. Don't mention my name. You'll do fine. You're funny. You're good. If you mention my name, they will. You won't even be. You won't. They won't see you. They won't even open your email.
What about the clickiness in New York? And I will bring this subject up a lot, but the nature of comedy is it's a solitary existence. You're writing by yourself. You're coming up with bits by yourself. You obviously have to be a bit of an introvert in some ways to create the comedy. But then in order to be successful in the club world, you have to get in with a group who were, they set up territories. Like this club is like, it's our thing. There seems to be a lot of that here on Long Island. Do you experience that in the city at all?
Well, yeah. I always tell people that are outside of comedy is like going back to high school. Like everybody has their little cliques in their crowds. I'm lucky in that I kind of just go between them because I want to make sure that my comedy fits as many people as possible. So I'll go up on places like the Duplex or, like the LGBTQ rooms. I'll go into Harlem Nights and go do the same material there to make sure it works. I've performed at Governor's quite a few times to make sure that it works for all the Italian people that aren't in New Jersey. So,
yeah, I get it. But you know what? That Governor's in Levittown is. It was very Italian at one point. Now it's everybody. A lot of we are a melting pot for sure. But I appreciate all the Italian people that are in Jersey.
But yeah, you definitely. It's definitely one of those things you see. You have people that get in their little groups. And I think there's good and bad because, comics do need a support group. And a lot of times, you need people in the industry too. Like any industry, I don't care what you do. You need people that do the same thing you do to tell you, and hopefully they're telling you the truth. I don't see that too often. Everybody that knows they're my friend, I'll tell you in a heartbeat. I'm like, drop that damn joke. It sucks. Or rewrite it at least. Hey man, that was, I've had friends that I've come off a set and I'm like, oh wow, that wasn't too bad. They were like, yeah, the 3 people at that front table sounded really great laughing at you. The rest of the room looked at you like you had a dick coming out your forehead, but okay. But you need that. So
I would laugh pretty hard at a dick coming out of the forehead though.
Yeah. But the cliques are also a problem. Like you see little groups that slowly take over like one of the B or C clubs, or sorry, the C or D clubs, and usually eventually they weed their way out, whether, and I'm just using these as an example, like any of the Grizzly Pears, the comedy shops, stuff like that. Now what you're also seeing that kind of puts them on my radar is now you have these little cliques opening their own clubs too.
Right.
Yeah.
I have this, and maybe it's just my perception, and I don't know if you've been there. Have you been done a lot of work in like Astoria, Queens? Because I have.
Yeah.
I have this perception of Astoria, Queens being like Greenwich Village was for the folk scene in the 60s, which you're probably too young to understand. But in the 60s, for every folk musician from all over America was going to Greenwich Village to make themselves a name. Astoria, Queens has a lot of comedy going on that, it's a comedy community. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing for comedy or a bad thing, because it does create competitiveness and all that stuff. And it's not like big rooms. It's like that. I don't think any of the like showbiz makers and shakers in the world are going to Astoria to discover new talent. But there seems to be some buzz of a lot of comedy going on there. You're aware of it, and what's your take on it?
Yeah, no, I perform in Astoria, so QED is like one of my favorite places to go up. And just because of the welcoming nature, like they don't care what kind of comedy you do. It's like, come and do it. But I think Astoria, I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's like a giant comedy community, but it's one of them. Yeah. I would probably, obviously you have your different parts in Brooklyn, if you get out in Bushwick, like there's a ton of comedy out there, that too. But I think Astoria, with the different, avenues you have to get on stage, it's great. And also they're a little less restrictive on what you can do, so like they're more willing to put somebody up that maybe does darker humor, whereas you're not going to get in many of the clubs in Manhattan just doing dark jokes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the bigger clubs, unless you've proven yourself and you can bring your own audience, they're worried, you're going to run somebody out the door. So if you can get up in QED and you can go up there, like I have 10 minutes on suicide. They let me do it. They don't care. They're like, people are laughing. Keep going. So
yeah, good to hear, because I'm thinking about, I have a lot of talk.
No, don't do that, man.
No. Brooklyn, you mentioned Brooklyn. You know what's weird about Brooklyn? There's a lot of like restaurants and bars and stuff that have comedy inside the venue, but they don't advertise it as comedy, and sometimes they don't even advertise it as a restaurant or a bar or anything. It looks like it could be an art gallery, or it looks like it could be just a hardware store. Yeah, they don't really. It's very weird. There's a lot going on in Brooklyn, but they don't really marquee it. They don't like make it look like a show business event. It's I don't know if that's good. I think that's because I would have walked past the club if I didn't already have tickets. I was looking for a place where I went to see Sam Talent last March, I think it was. But I was like, this can't be it. This doesn't look. Oh, Billy Wayne Davis. It didn't look like it didn't even look like an art gallery or anything. It just looked like a closed down business front. Like, what the hell is this? Wait, there's comedy in here.
It's the whole hipster attitude that's still there. So they're slowly working it out. But it's still there. The whole like we're cooler than what we're about. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and as y'all know, you know, the bars is where most comics get their first show. So, but yeah, you also have the venues, and I got straight out told this because I also produce some shows. Yeah, I'm not giving y'all my emails, and but like I've went to venues to be like, hey, I want to do a show here. You know, this would be great. We can bring you this. And they're like, yeah, that's cool, but we're not putting anything up. It's all on you. And I was like, cool. Then I want all the money that you're going to get from the drinks and food I sell.
Right.
It's like, if you're not going to put something up and help me get an audience, then I want the money that you're going to make off of the stuff you do.
Yeah.
And once again, you run into that issue where there's so many comics that want to put on shows that the venues are like, we don't have to do anything. There'll be somebody else coming in about a minute that is just desperate to get up in front of people, and we can do what we want. So,
right. Now, do you have a manager? Or you manage yourself?
Right now I manage myself. I am actively looking for a manager. So
yeah. That is to me, that's like the most rewarding thing is to get the business stuff off of your shoulders and just be able to create your art and have somebody else take on the business stuff. You know, that's to me, that's the nirvana. That's what everybody should be concentrating on. Until you're, you know, whoever the top names are, just getting to that level where you can give up the business part and know that you have somebody you can trust, somebody who's competent and all that kind of stuff running that. And now you can completely focus on making your art and craft as good as it can be. That's the best place to be. I deal with a lot of that. Like last night, I was talking to people who manage several big name comedians. You know, they talk to me about why certain people are not available to me, and they try, but I can't imagine like if I had to like contact the comedians. Generally, they would probably be yes or no. And some of them might say yes and then regret it, like, oh, I gotta do this guy's show. I can't believe I said yes to this. But I'm dealing with their managers. You get a conversation of like why it's not really in their best interest to do this show at this time, or why they're too busy. But come back, you know, it's more of a business, and they handle it more in a professional manner than sometimes dealing with the artists. I had one artist who. I'm not going to mention his name. One big name, and I wrote an email directly to him, and his comment back to me was, "I don't even know who you are. Why should I do your fucking stupid show?" you know, dealing with the manager, you're not going to get that. You're going to get a polite, "We're too busy at this time. Maybe try back later," or whatever. Yeah. It's better for the artist to be able to do so. Yeah. How do you go about finding a manager like that?
As soon as I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's like getting credit for the first time. A lot of them don't want they don't want to deal with you unless you've dealt with somebody, but you can't deal with somebody unless you've dealt with somebody. That's at least that's what I'm getting. Like, so who was your manager before? Who was your agent? I don't have one. You would be my first, like, well, reach out to us when you get one so we can see how that goes. Like,
do you believe in lying? Obviously, you believe in lying. You lied to us several times already today.
I have not lied to y'all.
All right. Yeah, you're lying now. You're lying now. But the lie I would say is my ex-wife did, but now when we got divorced, she took all the business. She took all my money. Whatever.
I'm starting over. I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah. That's what I would tell somebody if they ask, who was your previous manager? My ex-wife, but I killed her, and now I'm looking still.
So you don't want to be on my bad side.
Yeah.
Or you'll find out where she's buried. No.
So now you'll get your Netflix special.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about that for because the media production, and I've been on this for a while, and Katz brought it up a little bit in that thing that they did Monday night.
Oh yeah.
Media production is really important, and you know what, everybody is out there trying to tape stuff that looks like specials and all this stuff. But I think technically you can hire people with cameras. You can hire people, audio people, but if they aren't really professionals in the media stuff, no matter, oh yeah, 4K, I'm shooting in 4K. You're shooting in 4K. It doesn't matter what you shoot it. It's how does it look and feel? And the end product, does it look professional? And a big part of that is understanding what your competition is doing and knowing what is happening. What professional looks like in the state of the art today. And so I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of them, specials on YouTube where the editing is not great, the look is not great, the cameras are not balanced light wise and all that stuff. The shots are not the best shot choices and all that stuff. And on top of that, the audio can be a little sketchy and all that stuff. And all that just makes you look less professional than if you said, I have no tape. So the thing is, when you're starting out, to get it right, to get a real professional, costs investment and all that stuff. If you try to do it DIY, you're going to get something, I think, that is going to make you look less professional than if you said, I don't have one at all, because to be honest with you, it's like a major investment to get it right. What's your take on all I just said?
Yeah, definitely. I get to talk to, I talk with a lot of young comics, and some of the first things, and Will and GD, by all means, say something. If I forgot something, then let me know. But the first thing I tell them to do, I was like, go get one of those $20 tripods, because one of the things that, I can tell you a lot of bookers hate is your friend sitting there holding it and it's doing this.
Shaky camera shit.
Yeah. And also, and I thought I had it out here because it was charging. I guess I put it in the bedroom. But also, you can get like the little Rode microphone for like $200. Save up and get it, and your audio sounds amazing on it. And so that's what I started doing on mine. Was I had my little tripod with my phone. This shoots in 4K the same way that most of the cameras do. 4K, 60 FPS, and get the Rode and hook it up. And so now you have quality sound, you have quality video, but also I didn't realize the huge difference when you get professionals to do it is, like I said, North Carolina Comedy Festival. Once again, I am not getting paid for this. Jenny Stencil will never let me get in for free. She will always charge me my entry fee. So, but part of the other thing that I really like about her festival is you get a 4K professionally shot. All the audio comes off of the switchboard, which is what you want. And they have mics in the room to get you a quality video. So that way, when you leave her festival, you can use that and send it to more festivals.
Right.
Yeah, they're capturing the audience audio as well.
Yeah,
they just said two room mics.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. That's super great because like it's good when you can patch into the audio of the board. That's great. But if that costs you losing out on hearing the audience, that's kind of because you want to hear that audience reaction. So that's fabulous that they're doing that.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I keep doing that festival, is because it's really great. But the other thing that I always tell comics is also, because if you're using the mic, the other thing that I like about the Rode mics, or Rode, whichever way you're supposed to say
Rode.
that, is the one you hook up to your phone also picks up audio.
Right.
So you're getting the front and the back of the room.
Right.
Which can be good or bad, because like I just watched a tape I did, and there's an audience member sitting there, and I got some. It's funny, but now you couldn't hear like some of what I was saying because the audience member's talking, but they're talking about my joke. So I was like, well, at least I got something for TikTok. So,
yeah.
Right. Well, and one of the best sets I ever had, my recording, I had it on the table. I just had my phone on the table, just audio recording, and it's just garbage because someone sitting at the table was laughing so fucking hard that it just killed everything. And it was a great fucking set. And I wish I was so mad about that audio. But it's a weird way to be mad too, because how mad can you be that they were loving you that much? You know what I mean? Like, you can't be that mad. You know what I mean? Like,
right now, let me. Oh, go ahead. You want to add something to that, James?
Yeah, I had something similar happen. So I did a spot at Stand Up New York. Had literally the perfect crowd for me. So it was part military, part like it was a big Southern Baptist group that had come up here. Like I couldn't have asked to walk into like the better crowd. Destroyed the room. Like I was stopping maybe 30 seconds for laugh breaks, and I get the tape back and like it was shaking the camera, and so it messed the audio up on it because the Rode adapter had dropped out from it shaking. And I was like, and you go back and watch it and you can see them laughing and everything, but it's all crackled up. It sounds like GD when he talks. And
I was doing the sound for you that night.
No, thanks.
You sound pretty good right now. You sound pretty good right now.
You can hear some of it, but the same thing, man. You're just like, oh.
I think every performer I've ever met has a nightmare story about
I have dozens of them.
The great set that got lost, that got whatever corrupted.
I had one set that I had the camera was set up in the back. It was a full sold out crowd because they weren't there to see me. They were there to see the headliner. I was just the feature. So
No, you didn't have to say that.
Okay, thank you. All right, but I felt like I didn't want to feel like I was lying to you. So it was a sold out crowd, and the camera was set up. Everything was good to go. The sound guy goes, "I'm taking it to the board. I'm great." So I do the set. When I go back, turns out another comedian had turned my camera 90 degrees, so the video was on the curtain. Yeah, the headliner turned my camera 90 degrees.
Fucking horseshit.
And yeah, the headliner turned my camera 90 degrees, so I got this great audio, but the video is of like a curtain and a speaker. Yeah.
Let me see something. I'll get that. Yeah. Now, editing wise, this is a difficult thing because a lot of people, you can be a control freak and think I know my best stuff and I want it to get. But a professional editor and like a lot of the problems you're talking about, like the problem Willie brought up with somebody laughing too loud, there are tools right now that can work around that stuff, like noise, isolation stuff and all that kind of stuff. So using a professional editor, do you edit your own stuff when you record, or do you pass it out to a professional editor?
If it's just my if it's just off my phone, I do it myself. I've learned some stuff, so I have friends that are professional editors that we've become close enough friends. I cook for them, so they're like, hey, I'll show you how to edit this. So but for I have a half hour up on YouTube, and that one was like professionally edited, professionally done, all that. Now that one, I kind of sat down with them and I'm like, yeah, you're the professional, but I still want to hear what it is. Cause there was some stuff that I definitely wanted in there, like that person with the unusual laugh. When I recorded that one, there was a big black dude back there and he was like, he literally sounded like that. I was like, we have to get that dude's laugh in there, even if it's just enough for people to pick it up. I was like, but I want that in there. So
I would sample it and use it on every show.
One of the other things is I definitely want, like, if I can ever get an audience reaction in there, like them laughing or whatever, whatever their reaction is, I always want that in there. Like one of the ideas I have, I want to wear a GoPro one time and just do nothing but audience reaction, not even show myself. So
yeah, I talked about this before, but when I did my first television show, I was doing live stuff from a nightclub, where I had a live band and all that stuff, and I would come out and do a monologue, typical late night show where the host comes out and does a monologue, and I brought my own laugh track with a foot switch for the laugh track. And you know what? Just the fact that I had the laugh track, people were laughing at me doing the laugh track. People, they found that was the best joke I had with that, bringing my own laugh track. And I would make a joke out of it, like, yeah, I brought my own laugh track. Just in case. Anyway, so people find you at
I'm
James.
not counting on you people.
Yeah, I'm not. And plus, I knew, my material wasn't that great. I was doing all my, you know what? When you're doing too much, you take on too much. And this is the case with this show. Is I can't be all things. I can't be the booker, the manager, the producer, the on-air talent, all that stuff. You can't do all that and be effective at it. You have to kind of, focus. Yeah. At James Mack Comedy, now, or is that where you're on YouTube too? I mean, that's your Twitter and Instagram.
Don't do Twitter.
Don't do Twitter.
I don't.
Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I kind of as soon as I decided what I was going to use, I just went and took it all. So
okay, good. Good. Well, we hope people will follow you and be listen. You're a great guy to talk to, and appreciate you coming back. A lot more. I'd like to talk to you about the armed forces and why so many people in the armed forces become comics and your back history. So if you come back sometime, we appreciate it. Good talking to you.
Yeah, please. I'd love to come back. Just let me know when.
Okay. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.
Nice meeting you guys.
James, take care.
Yeah, we have another guest coming up in a minute. Look, we got GD up there by himself. Isn't that nice?
That's a cat. I could use her.
We could do it like this, where I make you guys.
That's good.
You like that one? All right. Well,
yeah, because it makes you bigger. Because you're the
I'm
guy.
big. I'm big.
You should be bigger. You should be the biggest.
I'm big.
Yeah.
I'm big.
God, you reminded me of my son when he was a toddler just then. Exactly. Yeah. I'm big.
I'm big.
He's such a character.
We have another guest coming up. He's not here yet. This is Stephen Sitcom Ortiz, but we have more. You know what I'm talking about? Commercials. Wow. That's what they call commercials. Advertisers, sponsors.
It's Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day. So you know what I would suggest about Valentine's.
Order your Lovebird house today.
No, you can't get it on
TV.
You can't get anything for Valentine's Day at this point. It's too late.
You order it today and get it in time for 2025.
There's not going to be a 2025. There's not going to be that.
Don't say that.
No, the world's ending. You didn't get the memo,
bro. Listen, the world might go to shit, but it's not ending.
There's a song that goes in the year 2525. Okay,
in the year 25.
All right,
anyway. They weren't talking about this. They were talking about BC. In the year 25 BC. You don't hear that because it goes by so fast. But the BC is in there. In the year 25.
But then they say if we're still alive. So.
Right.
I think we're gonna have a 2112 scenario where like somebody's going to stumble upon the guitar of old people that passed away. That never mind.
One of Matt's old guitars, probably.
No,
it probably will be one of Matt's old guitars.
It won't be one of mine because I'm taking mine with me. When I'm cremated, I'm cremating my guitars with me.
All right. Well, I want to play another.
You would.
I want to play another sponsors piece, and this is for people. This is especially for all the guys out there who didn't get Valentine's Day or not taking their wife out or any of that stuff. They forgot it was Valentine's Day, or they don't care about Valentine's Day. This is the commercial for you.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just another retailer. We're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box. Or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Get started today. Visit minddogtv.com and click on the banner on the homepage.
On the homepage. Do we even have the banner still on the homepage? That's the question. I think we do. Willie is he's out there smoking right now. He's getting Daily High right now. And even though that's against Barry Katz's advice, while we got a few minutes here, I did watch your piece with Barry Katz. Now, give me your honest feedback about the experience of Monday night with Barry Katz.
Well, okay. This is just a correction. When Robert Taylor was on, Robert had asked about emailing another comedian that he wants to be on their show.
Oh.
And my question was, matter of fact, I wrote my question down.
But hold on, before you get to your question, I just want to say Barry was addressing it as if, I think he got the same impression that he was addressing it as if Robert was writing an email to a booker.
No, and it seemed to me that Robert was talking about writing bookers, even though those bookers might be other comics, but still booker.
Okay, so I was under the impression that he was talking about getting on a show with another comic that he liked. So how would he go about doing it? That was the impression I was under when I listened to it.
Well, that's not the.
I'd have to listen back, maybe.
I have to listen back too, but the way Barry answered it, it was about getting booked on a club. Like if you're writing to a booker, he said, "Put yourself in the shoes of you own the comedy club," and so that's the way he was addressing it. Okay, now you can continue with whatever.
Okay, well, I could be wrong then, but that was the way I heard it. That's what I understood. But so I thought my question was a little bit similar, but I was asking about reaching out to a booker that you do not know, a cold, and how should I word it to get them to open the email? That was my concern, that I want them to open the email. So I want to know what to write to get their attention. What will make sense so you can say, open this email. Well, I'm not worried, because I know not everybody's going to like my comedy. That's not the thing. I'm aware of that. But if they don't open the email, they don't get to see the video, and that was what my question was about. How do you get there?
There are. Let me just interject here, and then you can continue. There are several websites, subjectline.com, and I don't get. They're not sponsors. Subjectline.com is one that comes to mind. There are several websites who you can put in who you're trying to reach, how you're trying to get, what you're trying to motivate them to do. The subject line is the most important thing to get people to open an email. It's not an address. So there are several sites that you can put in. I'm trying to contact a comedy club booker about getting booked on there, and it will give you like 15 suggestions of things that are really strong prompts that will get them.
But so that was what my question was. Now, I'm not about the tapes that I send, but I was rethinking my tapes anyway. But I want to say that I want to make sure that they want, like I said, if they don't open the email, they're not going to get to the video. They're not going to look at your EPK or any stuff like that. So none of that's going to happen if they don't open the email. So that's what I want to know about. And he went on. I think his first thing was about, he says, the tape that you sent me, which I didn't send him any tapes. But I'm just saying, in the community we share. There's like a community, you share things like that. And so I was just sharing a video that I did, not even the whole thing, just like a little clip about about Black History Month. It was just a little 2-minute clip out of a 15-minute set about Black History Month. And he reduced it down to he goes, so you think you tell clever dick jokes or something like that? He says something like, I sent him a clip that just had dick jokes. And I was really confused because I'm like, I don't have dick jokes, And so I jokingly said, I don't do dick jokes. I do thoughtful penis commentary with a humorous bent. But I mean, later on he sent me a personal note asking me to send him my best clip. which I don't have like anything in my heart that I would call my best clip. I have, they're just all my clips, so to speak. And I don't even have clips. I have shows. So
this is not necessarily directed at you. I did go to your website and spent a good hour and a half looking through stuff to see what he might have been talking about. But this is not for you. But you say you don't have your best clips. I think that's really important as part of a getting booked strategy, is to have a 3 to 5 minute best of real. I mean, we do it in music all the time. We don't give them a song. We give them snippets of songs that are our best stuff, but it's a carefully edited, our best material. And we don't tell them it's our best material. You don't position it that way, but we put it together in such a way that it is meant to make an impression of, holy shit, this is pretty good. I got to get in touch with these people. So that's I think.
But now I'm just saying that I don't know what has changed, but when I was coming up, in the beginning they said, well, they want like the head, they don't want it edited, they want it the head hip or something, like a mid shot or something like that. It's not, so they gave you a list.
Yeah,
of
he was
they
pretty specific.
Right,
he was pretty specific with what he said he should put out and produce. Yeah,
right. And so what he I guess he misinterpreted something that I was sharing with the group just because I was sharing it. It's just like I shared a song from my CD. That wasn't something I was putting out there for him. It was just for the group, so to speak. And so he responded to that as if I sent it to him, and it wasn't meant for him per se. It was meant for the group.
Were there dick jokes in that?
You have to decide for yourself. It's 2 minutes. If honestly, it's 2 minutes long. If you want me to find it and put it up, you can tell me. I don't think there are any dick jokes in it.
All right. I think there, and you know what, you can take this personal or not. I think there is some really benefit to understanding what people are doing now and what the current state of the art is in terms of this stuff. And I think you have definitely shown a propensity not to give a fuck about new comedians or what's going on in the comedy world, because you don't know any of the people who are current, who people are judging you against. And I think if you don't do that, you're kind of putting yourself behind the eight ball, at least not knowing what people are. And again, I'm not saying you did anything wrong here, but I'm saying it would definitely help to know. That's advice I would give anybody in the comedy world or in show business at all, is know what your competition is doing. Know what you're being judged against. If you don't know what you're being judged against, you really don't know how to make a really good impression. But I do think
that makes sense. That makes sense. I understand that, and that's believe me, I do understand that.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Barry. I understand. And listen, I encourage anybody to be part of that. I do think he has a tendency to enjoy the position of, I know best. I'm putting myself in and listen, he probably does know very good. He's got a track record that says he knows very good about what works. But I think he enjoys putting people on the spot and making them feel a little small. I think that's what I felt with the Robert thing. I think he was struggling to make something very simple. Like I just told you, the secret is, number one, subject line, and then you want to put a line that really speaks to that. It's like creative writing course. The subject line will get them to open it. The very first line has to show something compelling that gives them what their benefit to paying attention to the next line is. It's always that. And so he was just trying to make Robert squirm and squeal to come out with that himself. And Robert was like, I don't know where you go with this, man. It could be a whole lot of things. And like being very vague. And it felt like torture, and it felt like sadistic.
It was hard to watch. I actually shut my camera off because I didn't want to give my facial expressions of what I was experiencing listening to it. To be honest. Like when Robert No, like I shut my camera off because I was like, damn, bro.
Felt a little sadistic to me.
Yeah, when he was talking to me, Billy was going like, "Oh, eat his ass up, kill him a new one." Willie said, I saw Willie motion to Danica for popcorn.
I have to admit, I started to jerk off a little bit during that. I was almost coming. I was almost to the point of coming when he let you off the hook. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't see. That's the same. I just didn't understand. And like I said, my biggest thing was like I didn't know which clip he was referring to because he didn't give me any specifics. It's not like he would say like which. I'm like, you have to tell me which clip you're talking about then, because I didn't send him a clip. I put him in the community, so he had to tell me like which clip in the community he's referring to so that I could address it. Because otherwise, I have no idea.
All right. Well. We're talking about the blueprint for comedy success. It definitely, I still think it's a very worthwhile thing. I would love to be able to say to Barry, I feel like you're being a little sadistic on this stuff. I think you're enjoying making people feel small in front of other people. I do. There's a little bit of that. I don't think you can, deny that. Anyway, our next guest is here, Stephen, the sitcom Ortiz. Stephen is a comedian from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Stephen, could you mind waiting another minute or two? I have some issues I want to talk about. No, I'm just teasing.
It says Fort Wayne in the description that I have written there.
Well, at least you didn't do Fart Wayne.
I got to get a new pair of prescription glasses or something, man, and definitely a new keyboard. He's been doing comedy for 6 years. He's currently booked in multiple states doing festivals, contests, and book gigs. He's here now. Let's welcome in Stephen, the sitcom Ortiz. Stephen, welcome. Wait, will we get up there?
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are you?
Oh man, I'm fantastic.
Yes, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Tell me about Fort Wayne, Indiana, and the comedy scene over there, and how you got started and all that stuff.
Well, I originally actually got started in South Bend, Indiana, home of the Fighting Irish. Got my starting there, and then was doing comedy for about 2 years. Had some health problems. Moved to Fort Wayne, picked it back up, and then
did you just say Fort Wayne?
I did say Fort Wayne, yes, sir.
Okay.
but yeah, no, Fort Wayne is it's a great city. It's a melting pot of different cultures, different people from different walks of life. The comedy scene is exactly the same way. You go to an open mic on any given night, and you'll see a smorgasbord of different types of people from different backgrounds. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really good to get to know people out here just on the pure diversity that there is.
Right.
Do you want to be called Stephen or Steve? I just want to know how to annoy you. Whichever one you pick, I'm going to do the other. So
either way is fine with
Stevie.
me.
So Stevie. No, I'm just teasing.
There you go. That's how my family used to call me. So,
Stephen. Now, your last name is Ortiz. It says that your hat says Puerto Rico. Are you bilingual, and do you do comedy in English and whatever Puerto Rican speak? Was that Puerto Rican? No, I'm just teasing. I know I didn't. Are you bilingual?
I am not actually. This was a gift from the in-laws, and my wife and my immediate family from that side is all Puerto Rican.
Okay, because I was just asking you about the difference in doing the jokes in English and being bilingual. But
no, Stephen,
there we go, batting 0 for 1,000 with my beautiful questions.
Hey, it's all right, because the biggest difference for me is when they're in Spanish, I just don't understand them. So
yeah.
Oh, okay. So you just don't understand it.
I didn't think there were any Puerto Ricans outside of New York. I thought New York. I thought by law Puerto Ricans had to stay in New York.
You know what? I just found a whole group of them right here.
Yeah. Only if you don't speak Puerto Rican. No.
I actually had a cellmate that was Puerto Rican. His name was Ian Davids, and he was I think he was from the Bronx, and he was an absolutely fabulous person.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, I noticed that you opted for the blurred background. Is that so that we can't see the giant dildo behind you over your left shoulder?
I'm actually sitting on that currently. That is actually the
So when you start doing this number, we're gonna know why.
Yes.
It's not that you have a Hawaii chair. It's that you have.
No, that's actually where the sitcom comes from. I sit and calm everywhere. So.
Nice.
Steve, I have a question about.
No,
are you able to find wheelchair accessible stages for you to?
I wanted to talk about that because Joe Urell, who has been on this program, he's got this movement now, petitioning all these comedy clubs to make sure they have wheelchair accessibility to comedy clubs. Not doing well. Even other wheelchair-bound comedians are not supporting his movement on this whole thing. To Gigi's question, are you having difficulty finding those venues that have wheelchair accessible stages?
Yes and no. So I kind of foresaw this being an issue from the get-go. So I invested in a portable ramp.
Nice.
Basically,
Smart.
I can get on most stages. Sometimes I need someone to give me a push because it's a little steeper than it should be. But I mean, overall, I kind of foresaw that to begin with. Now that being said, does the ramp work everywhere? No. But I feel as a performer in general, not just a comedian, you should be able to adapt and overcome. And I mean, not being able to get on a stage, in my opinion, is just a really lame excuse to not do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, if anything, when I'm in a situation where I can't get on stage, I just use it to my advantage. I'm like, hey, guess what? You and I, we're eye to eye now. Let's go at it. You know, like, you know, I'll go in on and be like, listen, we're going to have fun. This is going to be different, you know? So I do see where he's coming from. And don't get me wrong, I love stages to be all accessible, but that's just not feasible, especially in some of these clubs that have been there for 30, 40, 50 years, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? It was that a lot of the music clubs had to put in ramps and stuff, and like I noticed it over the years that because there is a law that says that places that are open to the public have to be accessible to people with disabilities. The American with Disabilities Act, I think it's called. And so, why a comedy club should be exempt from that just because they're comedy? I don't get that part of it. But
see, I don't know. I feel like I'm a really bad crippled guy sometimes because I see it in the same light as in, you know, why shouldn't a bicycle store be handicap accessible then? Why shouldn't a skate rink be handicap accessible? And why should a skate park be? You know, like, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to do 100% of everything all the time, but in reality, that's never going to be the case.
Right.
I mean,
see, now I know as an African American comedian, I insist on good lighting because if they backlight me, the audience is not going to see my face. So
that's fair.
Yeah, so I think you should be fighting for your right to wheel up on that.
The thing is, though, is I've never been okay. Take that back. There was one instance where they kind of changed their mind when they heard about the wheelchair, but overall, they don't tell me I can't perform. They just say, listen, you might have trouble getting on stage, just giving you a heads up type deal.
Well, they can't tell you that. No, if they tell you they can't,
you
can't perform, then I think your attorney will be like all over that.
Oh,
in fact, I would be your attorney all over that.
Tell me about where the sitcom comes from, with the moniker that you're taking with you here.
It started kind of as a joke at first. People would be like, "You don't do stand-up comedy, you do sit-down comedy." And I was like, well, duh. And, you know, but it was the thing everyone said. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start beating them to the punch. So then at first my rebuttal was, yeah, man, I'm a sitcom. And one day at open mic, I was introduced as that and everyone just loved it. And from then on, it just kind of built its own momentum and became a thing.
Yeah, I liked when I saw it in there, I thought I have a knee-jerk reaction to some comedians' nicknames, but when I saw yours, I went, because I've worked with a lot of wheelchair-bound comedians, and I thought to myself, my God, that is like right on point. So I commend you for getting it and hopefully copywriting it.
Well, you need to mind your own business, man.
I appreciate my business. Look,
no, I mean about other comedians and their names. If somebody wants to call themselves Matt the Comedian Napo, I should be allowed to do that without judgment.
You can.
But no, you judge me. You would judge.
And I'm free to do that.
You need to mind your own business. Mind your own business.
Your asterisk bull. Yeah, no, your whole asterisk thing is.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's my asterisk. I watch my asterisk. You watch yours. So, Steven, I'm sorry. Look, Steven, I had to apologize for these two. They don't know how to act around guests.
Yeah. You know what? It's Valentine's Day.
You know, I was just saying. Wait, I want to make a comment here. Hold on a second. Let me make one comment here. The whole intro to this show feels like it just became dark humor. It was never meant for that. It says in the intro of the show, you want stand-up comedy? We got sit-down comedy, basically because those guys are sitting up there and every guest is sitting here. So, but with you saying that, I feel like we just made that a very dark joke.
No, it's okay, but I did overhear that, so I'm actually here with an attorney. And,
he's not kidding. He means every word he says.
Absolutely, this is all being recorded.
Now,
yes.
Yeah.
Question:
it is being recorded. Yes.
I'm a bit of a like. I like to do like word association stuff. So have you? Because sitcom is actually technically situation comedy. So have you done any wordplay on like you being the situation, like a different situation? You know, because we all know about The Situation from the Jersey Shore or whatever. But like, have you made any of those kind of references or whatever? I think there's definitely some material there.
Not specifically. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I ever looked up what the word sitcom meant. So, I mean, I knew. I've always heard the word. You know, like Seinfeld, the sitcom about nothing, things like that. Like I've heard the word, but I never looked up what it meant. So, yeah.
It's technically short for situational comedy.
Gotcha. Yeah. Situational comedy, right? Tell me how you got started. Did it get started with just going to an open mic night? Did you plan on being a comedian? I mean, how did it get started for you?
So growing up, I've been disabled since birth. So kind of early on, like 3-4 years old, I remember just making jokes with nurses while in the hospital, making jokes with my uncle and grandpa in the hospital. And then just growing up, my thing was always just making people laugh because it was either that or I'd get picked on, basically. It was an either or situation. So fast forward, though, just keep being silly my whole life. As an adult, people would be like, you're funny, but I never had the balls to do it. It ended up being after my divorce that I decided to go give it a shot. Because I was like angry at the world. I was pissed off and hated everyone. And I just had a bunch of really messed up jokes about the situation. And I was like, you know what? Open mics on 9/11. If I bomb, there's a bigger tragedy that's already happened. No one will remember it. It's fine. And that's what I did. And my first time up there, I think I only hit like 3 minutes, but I got laughs and I enjoyed it. And I felt immediately better afterwards. I didn't feel like I needed to, roll off a cliff or anything. So, and then from that point, I just kept going, and it just kind of turned into something I enjoyed up until a couple years ago when my health got worse, couldn't work. Wife told me to go for it full time. So here we are.
When you say you hated everyone, not me, right? Everyone else.
I didn't even know you, but I would assume that I probably have loved you as well.
How's your health now? Are you okay? Are you gonna be all right? Is that because it seemed like?
Yeah. It was as I said, I've been disabled my whole life, but I walked on crutches and used a wheelchair for the majority of it. It was about 3 years ago or so where my legs decided to finally just stop doing the little bit that they did left. So after that happened, going from mostly mobile and independent to being in the wheelchair, needing help with things, my body just started kind of shutting down. And so I was actually in the hospital for like almost 6 months with kidney issues. My immune system was just like, we're done. Just things like that were just came from just a sudden switch in lifestyle. So once I kind of got through that and, you know, I was like, all right, I'm healthy. My doctor was like, you need to take it easy, go on disability. So I did. And then that's when, again, my wife was like, listen, you have a dream, go for it. So now I do this full time.
Good for you. I mean, listen, it's got to be hard to reconcile all these
Glad
these
you're
things
still here too, man.
and not feel like
it.
you've been made a victim or something. But I think you got a great attitude about, you know what, I have things I want to do in this life, and I have a dream, and I'm going to fulfill that dream. And it's good for you. Go for it, man. We're 100% behind you.
You are like 100. You are the epitome of what I have a friend of mine, Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. He has a saying. He says, if you've gone through shit, then obviously it didn't stop you. So keep on going. You know? And
if it makes you feel any better, I got my dick drilled.
Yeah,
it's always good to have some perspective on that.
Exactly. That's how I stay positive.
So Stephen, do you have like a song that you like to roll up to, and do you have like a dance move that you do? You know, what's your dance move?
No dance moves. I guess I can technically moonwalk. It's just rolling backwards. But as far as songs, honestly, I just leave it up to the people in charge, because it always ends up being something funny, right? I've gone up to Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. I've gone up to White and Nerdy. I've gone up to Rollin' Dirty. That song that starts, you know, when your legs don't work like they used to before. They all work.
Right.
So what's your favorite?
Dirty?
My favorite would probably be White and Nerdy, because I can rap it, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like for example, when I do a show and I'm like the only white.
You're a Weird Al fan?
Oh, I'm a huge Weird Al fan. Yeah. So if I get a chance and I'm at a show where I'm like the only white dude and I want to fit in, I'll try to rap a little, you know, to the entrance song, and it works out well. Yeah.
Very cool.
So your wheelchair, is it electric or is it manual? Is it manual or stick? Okay, manual.
Yeah.
So what's the worst thing you've rolled in that you got on your hands?
Okay, so there's two that stick out in my mind. The one is
that's a great question.
A buddy of mine found his father unalived hanging in the garage, and when we had rolled into the garage, we didn't know he was in there, and I rolled through a puddle of him.
Ooh.
That one stuck with me for a couple years.
Oh my god!
Only a couple.
It's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Listen, man, I've been through some crazy things in life, so honestly, that wasn't the worst.
Wow, bro.
The other,
not the worst.
Shit.
Okay, go.
No,
go.
the other was I was in
dude.
I ran for office in 2016, and I was in a parade for the office I was running, and we were in the parade, and a horse had diarrhea about 6 floats ahead, and I didn't know it. And I'm just going, and I smell it at first. I don't think anything of it. Then my hands are warm, and it's just everywhere. Yep.
And that was worse than the dead guy. Now, which you said him? Was it blood, urine, or fecal matter, or mixture?
It was a 90-degree summer day, and he'd been in there for 2 days, so a little bit of everything.
I need some help here.
In front of like 20,000 people. So,
let me interrupt you and say we have to say goodbye to Governor's Comedy Clubs. We're saying goodbye to Govs. On a high note, we're talking about rolling through dead guys and horse diarrhea. But goodbye.